Okay, for this question, two containers X and Y are filled with an ideal gas at the same pressure. The volume of X is 4 times the volume of Y. The temperature of X is 327 degrees Celsius and the temperature of Y is 27 degrees Celsius. What is the amount of substance in X over the amount of substance in Y? A typical type of IB paper 1 question, they often like you to compare two substances, and we often do that through ratios or fractions like this. Okay, well, first things first, notice that this question is referring to an ideal gas, and in that case, when you have an ideal gas, the formula you would use would be PV equals nRT. Okay, T being the change in temperature. Now, because the ratio is asking you for the amount of something, that means we are looking for an expression for N. Okay, so before doing anything else, I will first isolate N. Okay, so in general, N will just equal PV over RT. Okay, now because you have two substances here, then we can actually write this as one being the amount for X. Okay, so that will be the expression N for X, and then the other one is going to be N for Y, and that should also take more or less the same equation. The difference, however, is that obviously for 1, okay, for X, I would denote pressure 1, okay, and then the volume as X for that one, okay, and then as well as the temperature. But then for Y, I would show that to be sorry, never mind, because it says here that the pressure is the same, so no need to differentiate the pressure. However, the volume and the temperature would be denoted as Vy and V for X. Okay, and temperature for Y and temperature for X. Okay, so now actually all I have to do is put these two on top of each other, because this here would be for that, and then this NY over here would be for this one. And by putting a fraction on top of a fraction, you notice that two things will actually cancel out here. If I do NX over NY, all right, without writing it here anymore, your pressures will cancel, okay, because one, they're the same. And another thing is your R will also cancel, because for this problem they're of the same value. Okay, it's the constant that's going to be the same for both substances in this case. So what does that mean? I'm really left with, for NX, that will just be Vx over Tx, okay, all over the volume for Y and the temperature for Y. And if I simplify this, all right, things will flip around. So the first one, the numerator, stays the same. This is dividing, which means multiplying by the reciprocal, and this will be as such. Okay, and this is more or less my expression, all right, for what I need. Now, what do I input for the values? Well, now we can consider the temperatures provided to us. Okay, for Tx, okay, Tx is given to be 327. All right, we will convert this to Kelvin because the given is in Celsius by adding 273, and that should give me 600 Kelvin. Okay, and then I would do the same for Ty. The given is 27 degrees. I add 273. That should give me 300 Kelvin. All right, so over here, what can I do at this point? All right, well, first of all, I would want to kind of rearrange this just so it kind of makes more sense in a moment. So Vx, I'll just put the V's on top of each other and the temperatures on top of each other. Okay, what can I replace Tx and Ty with? Well, here I can replace it with 600 and 300. So for this part, this is going to be for Ty, that's going to be 300, and then for Tx, that's going to be 600. Now the question is, what will I now put for the values for Vx and Vy? okay, what will be that particular value? Okay, there is information in the problem. It tells us that the volume of x is 4 times the volume of y. Okay, so really all that means is I'm going to multiply this quantity, all right, by 4. Okay, because again it's coming from this condition that the volume of x is equal to 4 times that of y. By the way, this is still going to be nx over ny. Okay, so if I do that, okay, what is the amount? All right, this is going to be 4 times, if I simplify this, 1/2, and that should give me 2 as my answer, and therefore the answer is letter C.